So come on in. Let me know where you are watching from. Today, we are going to talk about one of my favorite subjects, which is AI, artificial intelligence, and how that is helping create wealth, and also how at the same time it can actually widen the gap, especially when it comes to marginalized groups like women, as well as African Americans, which I happen to have the intersectionality of being both. So come on in, let me do a quick audio check. 1 2 1 2. And we have audio, because there's nothing worse than being 20 30 minutes in. Nothing worse than being 10 20 30 minutes in and nobody was able to hear you. Okay. So, really excited to be here. We are in the full throttle of fall, of autumn, and the holiday shopping season. People are already posting how tomorrow is Christmas, right? I was actually ready to put up my Christmas tree last weekend. I just was feeling festive. I didn't do it because I was like, I can't do it before Halloween. But Thanksgiving, we can also have the tree up for Thanksgiving. I am okay with that. Mariah Carey's voice has been warming up. She is ready. She is definitely ready to start with our favorite Christmas song. So are the Temptations. The Temptations in my mind is definitely, starting to brew and cook and ready to go. Been looking at Christmas recipes, looking at, all the fall things that we love to eat, the flavors of the season, apple, caramel, for some of y'all, pumpkin spice, sweet potato. Um, my food content does well year round. I'm not gonna lie. However, certain recipes tend to trend between now and Easter, right? Like collard greens recipes and pot roast, crock pot recipes are going to be more of your fall inspired meals, and then in as we get into spring, egg recipes, Easter ham, things like that, right? So these are things you want to know and take into account as you are creating content, because even if you are not a food creator, you can still occasionally share a recipe. You can still talk about your niche, but in the background your b-roll is you making something that is timely and relevant, like, Apple Crisp, right? Apple Crisp was like huge and trending one year, right? So, a great way to know is to use something like ChatGPT, right? ChatGPT can help you with figuring out sources of information. So can Perplexity, on knowing what are the flavors of fall. What are some recipes and things that people would be looking for fall? And how can I incorporate that into my marketing, right? So, you know, I get tongue in cheeky, right? I get tongue in cheeky, and I will be like, "Good morning" to everyone except those who are going to sit by idly and let AI take their jobs, right? I may say something like, "Don't let anybody who is going to let AI take their job tell you anything about life," right? And so, I get tongue in cheeky about it, but I mean, it's kind of true when you think about it, right? If you don't know me, my name is Tamara Hamilton. I'm a certified digital marketing strategist. I have over 30 years of sales, marketing, and leadership experience, and over 10 in the actual world of digital marketing. It's important to note that, because back when I got my degrees, which goes up to a master's degree, double master's degree, I was able to do all of that without doing anything digitally, right? And the internet was really booming when I graduated from college in the late 1900s. However, from a marketing standpoint, things were still much more heavily on the traditional side. And over 10 years ago, I began to see and feel the shift and put myself in position to capitalize on that, right? I have sold mega amounts of product online using digital marketing since I took what I already knew, the marketing foundation that I had, and built upon it with digital marketing skills. And last year, actually 2 years ago, I started playing with AI. Now, what I'm going to tell you is we've been interacting with AI a lot longer than we are, giving ourselves credit for. Okay. We've been interacting with AI in some form or fashion pretty much all of our lives, right? And increasingly so in the last, recent years, right? So, for example, the Facebook algorithm is AI, the Instagram algorithm is AI. A lot of what you're doing on social media, there is AI behind it, meaning they don't have people actually reviewing, right? It's machine review, machine learning, right? Even calling in to your bank and calling into, different customer service in a lot of the chats are now AI. Those are not people back there, responding. In some cases, once it gets escalated, you will end up talking to a human. But if they can at first answer your question using an AI chatbot, that is what they choose to do because, they've worked their numbers and they know their break even point and how much money they will save over the long term. Okay. And so the fact is, in oh my god, what is that stat? Like in 19 was it 1960 or 1980? Let me see. Let me see if I can find that stat. Percent of jobs that did not exist in. Okay, so here's MIT news. Most work is new work. Long term study of US Census data shows. Okay. The majority of jobs are in occupations that have emerged since 1940. Okay. So I'm looking for the exact stat because I want to say it's like 60 to 80% of jobs in 2018 did not exist in 1940. Right. I want to say it's like it's 85%. 85% of jobs have emerged in the same time, right? So between 1940 and 2018, 85% of those jobs did not exist. Okay? Did not exist, right? And so I come from a very blue collar family. All of my grandparents, pretty much at some form or another, worked in, especially the men, worked in a factory building tractors, building car parts, building something, right? So I come from a very blue collar manufacturing based background. And before that, agricultural, right? And so it says the fact that some areas of employment feature relatively more new jobs than others is one of the major features of the US jobs landscape over the last 80 years. And one of the most striking things about that time period in terms of jobs is that it consists of two fairly distinct 40-year periods. In the 40 years from 1940 to 1980, the US became a singular post war manufacturing powerhouse. Production jobs grew, and middle income clerical and other office jobs grew up around those industries. So, looking at my family history, that bodes true very well. That's very in line in what I know from my blue collar family from the Midwest. But in the last 4 decades, manufacturing started receding in the US and automation started eliminating clerical work. From 1980 to the present, there have been two major tracks for new jobs: high end and specialized professional work, and lower paying service sector jobs of many types. Thank you for the love, Melrose. As the authors write in this paper, the US has seen an overall polarization of occupational structure. Okay. And so we've had these two big time periods that have happened over the last 80 years. The first was driven by manufacturing. The most recent 40 years, as we know, has been technologically driven. So that's resulted in high end and specialized professional work. Hey, digital marketing, right? My sister is in human resources, right? You know, lower paying service sector jobs like being a teller at the bank, right? That's being a cashier, that's working retail, that's certain admin roles and job, call center, chat representatives. A lot of those jobs are what's going to be eliminated because of AI. So, what we are looking at potentially is further polarization between the high end and and highly specialized jobs and those jobs that are low skill and can and will be replaced by AI, right? So that is why we hear things like, number one, digital marketing is a 1.5 trillion dollar industry by 2030, right? In demand, highly paid. Okay, because it's going to be even more important to be able to stand out. Number two, we hear that the traditional 9 to 5 will be extinct somewhere between 2030 and 2035. And it's because more and more jobs are going to be AI driven, right? So, where does that leave you? Okay, well, number one thing we have to understand is that AI is going to generate more billionaires and millionaires and faster than ever in history. AI is going to generate more billionaires and millionaires and faster than ever in history. So that's two things in one. It's going to create more of them, and they will be created at a faster clip than we've ever seen in history, right? There's this guy, he's a billionaire, a black billionaire, Robert Smith. He's the one who, remember a couple years ago when it made the news about paying the graduates of Harvard's graduating class that year, he paid all their student loans. Okay, it's the same guy, right? And he has been on a CNBC opinion piece on how to prevent AI from further widening the racial wealth gap. Okay, and this is from CNBC.com. It says the rise of artificial intelligence has been stunning in both its speed and impact. Remember, I told you two things, right? According to data from Goldman Sachs, investment in AI is expected to reach 100 billion in the US and 200 billion globally by next year. Last year in private equity alone, generative AI investments reached 2.18 billion, double from the year before. Yet while we often hear about the boundless promise of AI, as we should, we also need to pay more. I'm pretty sure the person who wrote this was right, the way that it's written. Okay. As we also need to pay more attention to the careers, lives, and communities it will disrupt, including those who have so far been left out. For example, according to a recent McKinsey study, McKinsey always studying, Black Americans are 10% more likely to be working jobs slated for AI automation. In addition, the same study anticipates that AI will disrupt 4.5 million jobs for Black workers. Are those the Black jobs? Okay. This disruption, ooh, I just felt that. I don't know if you felt that. I don't know if that just hit you the way that that hit me. That just hit me. Did it hit you? Let me know in the comments because that just hit me. Okay. Who's really taking the Black jobs? Who's really taking the quote unquote Black jobs, right? Are 10% more likely to be working in jobs slated for AI automation. In addition, the same study anticipates that AI will disrupt 4.5 million jobs for Black workers. This disruption has the potential to impact billions of dollars in Black economic potential and growth. If current trends hold, the new wealth created by Gen AI alone will increase the racial wealth gap by $4.3 billion annually. So, what does this mean? And that's according to McKinsey. Okay. What does this mean? Okay. It means that there will be a digital divide. Okay. There will be a digital divide. Okay, that is created, and that digital divide will exacerbate racial economic gaps. Okay, and so this is why it is important that we not get complacent at a job, a company, or working for a boss, right? It is important that we not get complacent. We have to be learning skills that are going to future proof your income and your earning capacity. You have to be learning skills that are going to be future proofing your earning capacity, right? And we already mentioned digital marketing, which is a highly paid skill set. It is neither a business model, agree, says my girl Melrose. It is neither a business model, an offer, or a product. Digital marketing is a highly paid and in demand skill set. Okay. I will also tell you that marketing and sales are no longer optional. Y'all got to get out of, I don't like to sell. I don't want to be salesy. Hello. If you're in digital marketing, you are in sales, like it or not. Okay. If you are a mom and you are trying to convince your toddler that they need to be in bed by the time they are supposed to be in bed, baby, you in sales. If you've ever completed a resume and cover letter and submitted that, baby, you in marketing. If you landed the interview and you got your hair and nails done for the interview and you wore your best suit, baby, that's packaging. Okay. And then when you went to the interview, that was sales. Okay. Everything is sales and marketing, right? My auntie just asked me not too long ago to create a flyer for her to hand out to get people to come to the church she attends. That's marketing, right? There's sales and marketing that happens in the church service. Sit back and really watch and pay attention to what happens. And I'm not diminishing anything that happens in the church. I'm just telling you, I can sit back and I can watch a church service and break it down for you from a business standpoint, and have been able to since I was a young child, right? So, there are sales and marketing in just about everything. Like the altar call, that's recruiting. The altar call, if you look at the agenda and the way the church program is structured, it is optimized for pulling in new flock for new revenue. Does it mean in 2025 that they get new members every week? No, not at your small local church. But these big mega churches, baby, they are machines. And again, no disrespect to the church at all. This is not a religious talk. It's glitching when you come in. I'm sorry. That's TikTok, though. Everything. I love the sunflowers for my girl Kendra. Okay. So you've got to learn skills that are going to get you paid, because here's the deal. And you can Google this. There is a gap. Okay. So as much as AI is going to be taking jobs, AI is also going to be creating jobs. But where are those jobs going to be? Let's go back to the Stephen Smith article. Or was it Stephen Smith or the other one that talked about the Stephen Smith article talked about the digital divide? But we talked about how there were 40 years where the jobs growth were driven by manufacturing, and everything since that, it's been technological. It's technology driving job growth, so that there is this divide between low skilled jobs of many types, including retail, including clerical, and the high end and specialized professional work. Where do you think the new AI jobs that are coming in? Do you think they're more high end and specialized? Or do you think they're going to be lower paying service sector jobs? Let me know. Let me know in the box. Where do you think those jobs are going to be? High end and specialized, or do you think they're going to be lower paying? Because we already know that the lower paying jobs, the low skilled jobs are the ones that are being eliminated, Illuminati, right? So lower paying skilled jobs. That's why, you got to know what you're arguing for. You got to know what you're arguing for, right? There are states that are finding that out. Oh, the immigrants are the problem. The immigrants are there immigrants really the problem though? Because do y'all really want to work those jobs that the immigrants have? I'm just saying, right? There's always going to be some work that some people have to do, and some people are not going to want to do it because, ego and pride and all this other stuff, including me, right? But I've never been one to worry about jobs going overseas or to other countries because typically those are jobs that I did not want. Okay. But I've also never shied away from learning new skills because I came to digital marketing with over 20 years of sales and marketing experience. I most definitely had the foundation. What I had to do was modernize my skill set and add to my base, add to my foundation. Okay. Because we didn't have a course on email marketing or digital marketing, not even when I got my master's degree. We still had CDs at the back of books that we put into laptops. I've got a $3,000 laptop here that does not have a drive for CDs or DVDs, and it's just 2 years old, right? I paid 3,000 for it, and it's a Mac, so I could get close to my actual value for it if I wanted to sell it today. I probably could still get 2,000, 1,500 to 2,000 for it, which is why I buy Mac. Okay. So you have to constantly be investing in yourself. And let me tell you something. Let me tell you, learning a company's proprietary system is great for applying for jobs internal to that company. But unless another company uses that company's same internal proprietary system, you're SOL, baby. You're SOL on arrival, right? So don't just think that because you're the best at, a company's internal system, yeah, it makes you marketable in that company until you are no longer marketable, right? So you've got to the big thing, the big skill that you want to be mastering right now is the soft skills, the emotional intelligence, the being able to adapt to change quickly, right? Because I'll tell you something about corporate America, especially right? You can adapt to change quickly, but the minute you question the change, it suddenly becomes, oh, you don't really adapt to change all that well. No, it's not that I don't adapt to it. I'm just questioning it. I'm asking. I'm providing it feedback, right? And that's why I don't do corporate America to this day. This cup, by the way, this cup is moving through my Amazon store daily. Y'all love this cup. Y'all love this cup. Okay. One of the things is you can close it. And I think that's why people like it. Comes in so many different colors too. But black, the brown, and navy blue are selling the most. I don't know who buys it. But yeah, this cup. You see what I'm saying? So that is what you need to understand and know how to do. How do you supplement your income? How do you protect your income? And in 2025, you can do that without having to leave home. You can do that from wherever you are. You can do that in your sleep, right? People buy DBA from me while I'm sleeping that I've never talked to. How? Because I created the content, I optimized the content for search, and the content is out there, and it's video of me. And actually, it's faceless. I'm not even facing the camera. I've got the camera pointed at the screen, but it's my voice and it's selling. I've got content all over the place. I've got content in all the right places. But then I also have the back end to fulfill it. Someone sent me a text message last night and they said, that they need to go live, but the setup that they've seen I do has been phenomenal. And they noted that we don't have to narrowly use DBA as our domain, which they find interesting. I said, oh no. I said, I don't have to say what I said. What am I talking about? Okay. Let's see what else, because she's been texting me back. Oh, she said, I like that you're very straightforward and bold. I'm going to say, I am live on TikTok right now. Want to join me? See, I have a system that allows me to be able to communicate one-on-one, right? She says she doesn't have a college degree. You don't need a degree. At this point, my degree is for competitive. My degree allows me to be highly specialized, right? And it's not just my degree, it's my experience. I can name drop the companies that I've worked with and for. Okay. Got a pretty spectacular resume. And it spans over 30 years. Okay. I love marketing. I eat, sleep, and breathe marketing. And that's not going to stop. So let's see what Robert Smith says is the antidote for the wealth gap. Okay. So, how to prevent another wealth gap. As we stand at the beginning of this next revolution in AI in its early ways of value creation, our urgent task is to prevent another gap. We can do that by empowering all people to take part, which I've been doing, and be leaders in this evolving field, allowing our economy to reap greater benefits. That begins with infrastructure that supports AI enablement for all, including education on AI tools. You can create a six-figure business on that alone. Okay. Access to the internet and the power to compute. One model for this is the work being done by the Student Freedom Initiative. As a first step, we must commit to eliminating the existing digital broadband divide. SFI has been working hard to close the digital divide in Black communities, including historically Black colleges and universities. 82% reside in broadband deserts. That's horrible. This is a critical gap that must be closed to provide the next generation of diverse leaders with resources, education, and technical access needed to master this evolving tech. Well, let me tell you my view as a glam mom, okay? Because as a glam mom, I am sure to spend time with my glam babies, teaching them little things, right? Like they are very comfortable in front of the camera. Now, I don't capitalize on them being in front of the camera, but if that's something they wanted to do, I could definitely help guide and direct them through that. Right. But and it's not just about being in the camera. It means that in their lifespan and because of their education, they will be comfortable speaking publicly in front of groups of people. That is a highly paid skill set, because if you knew how much fear people have around that, like I am an introvert. Like you look up introvert in the dictionary and I am there looking cute. I am a textbook introvert. And the older I get, the more introverted I am. However, thank you. Happy Halloween. I can get on stage. I can get in front of a camera. I can get in front of a microphone. And you would never know that, because being an introvert is not shyness. It is not fear of public speaking. It is all about absorbing other people's energies, which I can feel your energy through Zoom. Just let you know. I can feel your energy. And if I know you well enough, if I'm close enough to you, I can feel your energy without much talking to you. I can just kind of sense and feel. But that's neither here nor there, right? But that's what being an introvert is other people tend to drain me of my energy, whereas other people, being in the presence of other people, energizes them. No. I recharge alone. Okay? So teaching them and getting them in situations where they are comfortable speaking in public is a good thing, right? My granddaughter knows how to go on my phone and get on Pinterest and make collages. It's beginning to teach my grandson how to edit video so that it's not just about consuming YouTube shorts and TikToks. Like, this is something that you're going to be able to get paid to do if you choose to, right? And as an adult, it's not too late for you to learn these things. Okay? You need to learn these things. I see too many that want to just outsource everything. If digital marketing is a $1.5 trillion industry by 2030, do you think it's going to be more expensive or less expensive for you to be able to hire people to do the things that you are going to absolutely need to have done in your business? It's going to be more expensive. And at some point, you're going to be priced out of the market of being able to pay somebody to do these things for you. So you're going to need to know how to do them yourselves. And I'm speaking to a very specific set of my audience, and they know who they are, right? They know who they are. I honestly think some of them just plan on being fully retired by then. They have to, right? They have to. The problem is there is a set of the market that loves what they do, and that is what they want to do. But if you want to do it as a business, you actually end up doing less of what it is that you actually do and love to do, because you have to work on your business, not in your business. And working on your business includes learning AI. It includes utilizing AI to actually lower your costs. It includes sales and marketing. CEOs of multi-million dollar companies spend a lot of their time as the face of the company, which would fall under sales and marketing. They do a lot of negotiating. So some of y'all are signing up and you want to, you have these visions and you have your vision board, but you're not really realizing what that vision, what it really is going to take to bring that vision to life. And it's going to include a new version of you. Ooh. Yep. I sound cliche. Yep. I said it. It's going to take a new you to do it. You're going to have to get comfortable. You're going to have to get well versed at things that just might not appeal to you. Right? I know what the things are that don't appeal to me, that give me the heebie-jeebies in my business, but they have to be done. Right? Some days all I want to do is create. I'm an introvert. Some days I don't feel like getting live and going live and live streaming. I just don't feel like it. Some days I might not feel on putting on the little bit of makeup on that I have. I might not feel like, today I just have on a t-shirt. I didn't put on a dressier shirt. Number one, you see I'm already sweating, right? But I know I can't go too many days without doing it. Not for the long-term sustainability of my freedom, right? I love that. Like I'm in a movie. Okay. So digital marketing. DBA Volume 3 is coming out November 8th. Okay. Here's what I recommend. If you do not currently have DBA, you want to join and get DBA Volume 1 and Volume 2. DBA is going to teach you the core basic skills to building a digital marketing business. Okay. And everybody has a digital marketing business, whether they are selling digital marketing products and courses or coaching or not. I hope we all understand that. Everybody is a digital marketer to some degree. Okay. Everyone is a digital marketer. I can't tell you. I could tell you. There are several local businesses around me, restaurants and other businesses that are closing. And it's their own fault because they are not utilizing any sort of digital marketing whatsoever. If you own a small shop, for example, you may not want to sell your stuff online, which I honestly don't know why you wouldn't, because it allows you to sell to people 24/7, 365 without physically being at a location, without having to pay a staff to be there. You pay for your servers and other things, right? You may not want to do that, but you still need digital marketing. You still need to be building your email list. You still need to be emailing your email list. That's why a lot of these places are closed and empty, right? It's not just about, so here's what I see happening with the local restaurants. They open, they end up with a lot of success, and it starts to slow down. And then they begin to go the delivery route, the Uber Eats, the DoorDash, the Grubhub, which can you be more specific about my horrible, ridiculous statement so I can check you? Secondly, the reason that they are empty is because they have no way to pull people in. And please also make sure to include your resume. Thank you. Okay. That's why they're failing, because nobody's coming in their store. Before digital marketing, restaurants still shut down at a high rate, and they're closing faster, buddy. You just don't like the message, or you don't like the messenger, because there is a difference. They need digital marketing. Sorry. Sorry that upsets you, but digital marketing is not going anywhere. It's also more cost effective. So do me a favor, go to Google and research content marketing statistics for 2025 before you ever think about coming at me. Don't come for me unless I send for you. I'm not emotional, sweetheart. You're spouting a bunch of hyperbole. You're definitely all in your feels. I don't know who you are. I don't know why you're triggered, but I'm going to continue here, and you keep giving me my engagement. Thank you so much. Because brands, companies that have an email list, for example, collect 60% more leads. So until you can come with some statistics, and I see you going off, you're going off. You don't even know me. Oh my God. Y'all, welcome to the red pill comment section. So I just got called a feminist because I'm talking about digital marketing. Come on, baby. Keep my engagement going. Bring more people to the stream. The number's going up. Keep on ranting and raving. Keep on ranting and raving. But what we're not doing, we're not going to highlight your comments on the screen. We're not highlighting your comments on the screen. Nobody will see your face. Nobody will see your name. And back to what I was saying. Brands and companies that email collect like 60% more leads. Welcome to the segment of the show where you know nothing other than name calling. It's hilarious. You haven't brought a fact, a statistic, or anything to support your case. So let's keep going. Let's keep going. And where did you get your degree at? And what is it in? What brands did you work for? What marketing campaigns did you put together? What restaurant did you own, and how fast did it fail? You have been. You got mad because I called you out. Y'all big mad. Y'all big mad. Y'all big mad. Y'all angry. Y'all and y'all leader angry. Keep going. All you're doing is getting me engagement. I can't imagine being so angry, waking up every day and being so angry that I have to go. I really pity you that you have to go and disturb someone else's live stream with your anger and your bitterness because the world isn't going the way that you would like it to go. It's really sad. I really pity you. I pity your loved ones. Do you have a wife? Do you have a girlfriend? Because it doesn't sound like it. And if not, I understand why. So let's keep going. You found the right one on the wrong day, buddy. You haven't stated a single fact, though. You've stated your opinion. You've stated your opinion and your unsubstantiated opinion. You haven't stated a single fact. I'm loving every minute of this. You haven't stated a single fact. You haven't stated a simple number. You haven't cited a source. You've just come on with your vitriol. I know it's a big word, but Google is free. What is divisive? There was nothing divisive. See, that's the problem. Y'all hear sound bites, don't know what they mean, and repeat them because there was nothing divisive about this. There was nothing divisive about this. That is gaslighting trash. You're just about out of tricks too, by the way. The little handful of talking points that y'all like to always spew and rebuttal with is pretty much empty. You're pretty much running out of tricks. Sweetheart, my vernacular is well beyond your basic lexicon. Because I haven't heard AAVE used at all just yet. How about you try forming an actual complete sentence with subject and verb agreement? Because all you do is, much like your leader, speak like a less than a fifth grader, because my grandson's in fifth grade and can speak better than you. So come on, Cletus. There go to AAVE. But that's actually from a movie. Come on, Cletus. You might walk over, but you're gonna leap back. Come on, Cletus. By the way, this is someone who doesn't have a profile picture, and I'm pretty sure that's not even their name. Look at me arguing with a Russian bot. All right, let's get back to our regularly scheduled. Oh, the last one. This is why women shouldn't vote. There we go. Oh, I feel like I've hit a new level. They done came out and came at me. Wow. So your small local businesses most definitely need digital marketing. You need digital marketing to apply for a job. When you apply for a job these days, especially the remote ones, with remote jobs, you could be competing with, I've seen as high as 11,000 people. And even for the non-remote jobs, they are still getting upwards of 1,000 applicants, right? And so that's why, like I said, your ability to write a cover letter, to have a resume, and honestly, y'all got to start paying attention to your social media because they're going to be looking at your social media at some point if they aren't already, and doing a scan of your social media and seeing if you crash out, right? Seeing if you have the emotional intelligence that you say you do in the interview. But all of that is marketing and packaging. The interview is selling, right? The follow-up process, negotiating, right? Like my lease today, today is the last day of my current lease. And within the last 2 weeks, they all of a sudden wanted to switch things up. And what they came back with, like the rent increase was not crazy at all, but they wanted to switch from a lease to month and then start charging me some fee every month. Now, some people would just either take that and then move, or they would just take that. I negotiated. It won't stop you from getting the job if you don't negotiate, but in some cases, they know exactly how to treat you from there on out if you don't try to at least try to negotiate. Right? You don't negotiate in the interview. You wait until you have your letter, your offer in writing, and then you negotiate. And it's much more easier than back then, right? You got to remember, I was the first person to graduate with a 4-year degree in my family. So my first job, that was the one mistake that I made that I always wished I could go back and redo. But every job ever since then, I negotiated. Promotions as well. I negotiated. Didn't always walk away with the money that I wanted, but I walked away with, in one case, they paid my insurance for myself and my children for 6 months. I walked away with more paid time off. I walked away with more vacation, right? So that's the thing. There's always room for negotiation. But if you don't negotiate, especially if you applied for a sales job, that's kind of weird, right? That's kind of weird, right? The other thing when it comes to getting hired these days is the assessments. The assessments usually fall into one and two categories, and the third one would be a combination of the two. One is to assess the skills that you say you have, and two is to assess your personality for fit with the culture and the environment. I would argue that it's often to see how much they can use and abuse you. Because that's really what they mean, right? When they talk about fit with the culture and the environment, right? In a lot of cases, they're looking for minions, robots who will do exactly what they tell you to do without questioning it. without batting an eye. And that's why personal development is your number one income producing skill. I don't care whether you work for someone else or you work for yourself, and you always work for somebody else. Believe that. If you have clients as a freelancer and you're not delivering, if you're not doing what you say you're going to do, those clients can put you out of business. One, through damaging your reputation online. Two, enough complaints to various entities. I'm not going to give anybody any ideas because the haters have been out today. They can shut you down or shut down different systems, right? They can shut down your hosting. We've seen that happen, right? They can shut the hosting of your website. They can shut down your merchant account, which is how you get paid. That your money can get tied up that way. So we all answer to somebody at the end of the day, right? Customer service is still very much an important skill. It's something I pride myself on greatly, right? Are you actually getting people results? Are you actually providing the transformation? But the one thing people know when they work with me is that they will be taken care of, right? They know they are dealing with a person. They know they are dealing with a person of integrity. They know they are dealing with a person who operates in a dignified manner. They know they are dealing with a person who is compassionate. It does not mean that they're always going to get what they want out of me, however. Right? Because one thing I'm going to tell you, because I attend a lot of different masterminds and things like that, right? And I pay attention in a lot of different groups and communities. And one of the things that comes up is about your refund policy, your cancel policy. And I'm going to tell y'all something that I know for a fact from corporate America. Okay. And that is this: if your policy in writing says one thing, but you consistently do another thing, it don't matter what your policy says in writing. It matters what you actually have done historically, especially because of things like discrimination in that. So, for example, if your policy says that you under no circumstances offer refunds, but then there is this one circumstance that you have historically refunded, that is actually your policy and that is what you need to put in writing. Are you picking up what I'm throwing down? Because I can't remember the exact situation, but someone said, yeah, this is our policy. But when it comes to this, this, and this, we will go ahead and refund it. And, I don't always want to be on the mic. I don't want to be that person. So I just let it ride because I'm not their coach. I'm not their mentor. I'm not their consultant. But my experience tells me all those exceptions you just listed are actually your policy. And that's what you need to put in your policy. Because there is a woman, I saw the TikTok. She was late 47 times and got fired, which, in my opinion, rightfully so, she should have. But there's a lot of different problems with that. Number one, why did they let it get to 47 times? Number two, that everyone was being late like that, and she was the only one who got fired for it. So guess what? She sued. Guess what else? She won $11 million, I believe. Because technically, were they right based on policy to fire her? Yes. But from a consistency of application of the policy is where they messed up. So you have to know that, speaking of customer service, when it comes to your cancel policy, your refund policy, it doesn't mean that you can't do any exceptions, but you got to be paying attention. Is the exception becoming the rule? And if so, what are you going to do about it? Are you going to make it the actual rule, or are you going to stop making it the exception and give people the proper notice and things like that? Okay? So you have to know that. But customer service is not optional. You have to be able to, things happen. And that's why the relationship building is so key, because things are going to happen. I've set up things automatically. Oh, okay. I let them do a payment plan and it's 4 payments. And for whatever reason, it was supposed to stop on this day. That was supposed to be the last one. And for whatever reason, the system took an extra one. I spotted it before they even noticed it, where some people who don't operate in integrity would have spotted it and not said anything. And if the customer didn't say anything, they wouldn't have said anything. Not me. I spotted it, I corrected it, and then went and messaged the customer and said, "Hey, I saw that this happened. It's already taken care of. You should already have your money back." She's like, "Yeah, I noticed. I was thinking about saying something." She wasn't even gonna say anything. So if I'm the customer and I didn't say anything, but you knew about it and you just kept letting it roll, or even if you didn't, but if I find out, now we got a problem, right? It's just like I say, if you're my friend, because this happens in the industry. If you're my friend, quote unquote, in this industry, but someone else for a fact is stealing from me my content, copying my content, regurgitating my content, and all you ever do is bring to me that this person is stealing, regurgitating, and copying my content, and you're not addressing it with them, then you're their friend. You ain't my friend. You're just reporting to me to see what I'm going to say. You're just trying to see if I'm going to have a reaction, right? Because as we see, I will tussle until I'm not going to tussle no more. But what I'm not going to do is let you take me out of my character. So yeah, the little heckler I played with him for a little bit, let him get me my engagement, and then bless and release, block, bless and release. So digital marketing, high paying, in demand skill set, 1.5 trillion in value by 2030. The 9 to 5 as we know it will be extinct. Why? Because AI is taking low skill jobs. AI is taking low skill jobs. The best thing you can be doing for your family right now is introducing them and teaching them skills and how to properly use their Wi-Fi. Because what did it say? What did Robert Smith say? Robert Smith, they talk about three things: the resources, education, and technical access needed to master this evolving tech. Resources, education, and technical access. That is the exact same thing when I tell y'all that never in history has it been as easy as it is now to wake up in the morning, be down money, and be able to get yourself back in the black by the end of the day using free apps like the clock app, like the red pen app, like the video app, like the blue app, the purple fuchsia pinkish app, for photos, Google Docs, Canva, Google Sheets. All of those can be used to create an endless supply of money, an endless supply of income. You can literally create. You can create. I've shared how I've come up with a concept of a plan, put it in Google Docs, and went out and shopped it. Y'all think you got to have a business card, a logo. Think you got to have a website. You do not need any of those, and you can make money online. I'm not saying you should continue to operate that way. However, and I'm telling you, like, my mentor has over 20,000 customers. Like, her launches are huge. And when I first came across her set of templates in like 2020 for $27, her sales page was a Google Doc. Thank you for the love, Alcyon. Her sales page was a Google Doc. There are multiple ads I see from marketers on a daily basis. And their freebie is a Google Doc, their sales page is a Google Doc. Because you can publish a Google Doc to web. It looks like a website, right? We were at the hospital last Sunday. We had we still have a family situation going on. And my daughter was putting my cousin's phone on the charger, and his background wallpaper, whatever you call it, is his Cash App. And he was explaining, because he's a hustler. He always going to have a job, but he's always going to a legal hustler. He, was like, yeah, they want to buy this, they want to buy that. I just set my phone down and my Cash App is open and they can pay me. And my daughter was like, I see you talking to me. She's like, I see you. You're over there calculating, you're thinking. And I'm like, oh yeah, mine has been TamaraHamilton.com pay me for years. Right? When who was it? PayPal came out with the .pay me extension or whatever it is. Yeah, I set mine up right away. Right? My cousin's like, oh, that's too long. I'm like, no, it ain't. When they want to pay you, when you got what they want, they'll remember it. I said, do you know how much money I've made off of TamaraHamilton.com? I've been selling off TamaraHamilton.com for over 10 years. Okay. So digital marketing. Okay. We've been talking about the wealth gap and the AI. While it presents unlimited opportunity, more billionaires, more millionaires than ever, and faster than ever. Speed and impact, right? But the other side of that is it is going to take lower paying jobs, lower skilled jobs away, which is exacerbated in certain communities. Okay. It's going to create a bigger divide between pay structures. And not everyone is going to need to get highly specialized in that. It just means if you are working a lower pay, lower skilled job, you are going to need to figure out ways. You're going to need to figure out ways outside of a traditional job to get paid and feed your family. And digital marketing is a great way to learn how to do that, right? Affiliate marketing. All right? This is my favorite coffee mug. It ranges from $9.99 to $11.99 on the Zon, right? I recently finally took the step, and now my videos that I upload to the Zon, because I've been telling y'all Pinterest and Amazon go together real bad. The videos I upload there, they promote them both on site, and they actually can even promote them on various social media platforms. And when they do, I get a commission of the sale. And this is the number one thing of all the videos I've uploaded. This is the number one thing that sells on Amazon. Right? This is the number one thing that I've created content for that sells on Amazon right now. So you have to learn I remember back in like the 80s and 90s, and I'm not saying it's right, but when you watched movies and films and even from African American creators at the time. When it came to Jamaica, they would always portray Jamaicans as working like 4, 5, 6 different jobs, and none of them like really being related. That's where we're going, y'all. Y'all gonna have to figure it out. You're gonna have to sell plates. You're gonna have to sell health and wellness shots, like ginger shots. Make your own oat milk, make your own sour cream, and maybe start selling that, selling plates, selling dinners. Monetize the video of you making the food that you're selling. But none of this is doom and gloom. None of this is that you won't be able to eat, that you won't be able to make it, that you're going to be in a Great Depression. That's not how I look at it at all. That is not how I look at it at all. I look at it as there is tremendous opportunity on both ends of the spectrum. There is still tremendous, tremendous opportunity. But you've got to see it as such, and you've got to be willing to act on it as such. So I definitely recommend DBA. Volume 3 is going to be 15 new modules launching on November the 8th. And Volume 3 will be an affiliate product. Volume 1 and Volume 2 will remain master resale rights. But here's the thing. I don't know whoever told y'all that just because it comes with master resale rights means that you have to sell it, or that you shouldn't offer it to your audience. That is so weird to me. That's like saying, oh, I'm not going to go to McDonald's because it's a franchise and they could sell it to someone else. That makes absolutely zero sense. That was a trigger. Somebody got triggered because they're afraid that the people they've been selling courses to now might become their competition. Yeah. Right. But there is a list of skills. You can go back and you can watch previous videos of mine where I talk about these skills that are going to be high paying over the next 10, 15, 20, 30 years. Right. But the fact remains the same, and sales and marketing are on that list. They are no longer optional. They are no longer optional. If you never have any inclination, any desire to start a business, you still need to learn sales and marketing. Number one, you need negotiation skills. Number two, you need soft marketing skills and how to navigate the corporate landscape. I was better at it than I give myself credit for, but you need soft skills. You need to know how to. You need PR skills, right? You need to know how to manage your reputation in the office place, in the workplace. Because for some of us, we didn't grow up with that. It was just like everybody was who they were, and you just deal with it accordingly. Corporate America isn't so much like that. Again, remember, it's about tightness of fit. Do you fit in their culture? Do you fit in their structure? Do you play well in the sandbox? And some of y'all are not meant to play well in the sandbox. Your sole purpose on earth is to disrupt, to make people think differently, to make people open up and see things from a different point of view. That includes me. I was not born to fit in. I was born to stand out. And one of my biggest gripes in corporate was constantly being made to feel like I was supposed to fit in. I was not made to fit in. Right? You might even have to fire some friends. You might have to fire some friends because they know that you were not born to fit in, but they want to try and minimize you and make you fit in so that they're not exposed for their deficiencies. Everybody ain't meant to be the same. Digital marketing, it's a highly paid skill set. And you're going to need it sooner rather than later. And things like copywriting, writing a resume is copywriting because it's marketing. I keep telling y'all. Your cover letter is the sales page. You need to know how to get to click on the sales page. It's all the same thing. It's all the same thing. It's all the same thing. So you got to be able to have multiple income coming from multiple places. And the sooner you can have income that you make in your sleep, meaning that video content in particular is selling for you 24/7, 365. And then you have the automation and the system in place for people to get paid, to pay you and be delivered what they bought, whether you are asleep in a coma, at the doctor, at the beach, on an airplane, making breakfast, making coffee, making tea. Okay. Local businesses need to figure out, and it's not a one size fits all, despite my hater getting triggered. Local businesses need to learn digital marketing. You need digital marketing to some degree in your business. I don't care what type of business you have. I just thought about that. Arguing with me about this while watching me on YouTube is nasty work. But secondly, you need an email list. You've been texting me, "Oh, you're very welcome. You're very welcome. Now that I see that you're here, let's go through some of your questions." But you need to be able to text message your customers. You need a customer list. You need to at the very least be emailing your customers. That is a huge chunk of your marketing right there, is to increase your wallet share from your existing customers. Okay? So I currently work in the nonprofit industry, and I'm volunteer of a few different nonprofits, also with the history of a medical background. So transitioning into digital marketing and event planning has been a big chore for me. I know I don't have a college degree, it's not needed. I have a bunch of certificates though. Okay. So the big thing is to first figure out who it is that you serve. So, who is your ideal client and what is a problem that you can solve for them, either as a digital marketer or a um as a digital marketer or creating a digital product, right? So when I say a digital marketer, is it businesses that you're going to serve and do their email marketing, do their branding for them or whatever? You get to decide what piece of the digital marketing value ladder you want to be a part of. Or are you going to create a digital product for them, right? So like an event planning guide for nonprofits in the literacy sector, for example, right? You could create planners, right? I have a friend who creates digital devotionals, right? I was thinking of creating a digital product, being an event organizer. Yeah, so you could put together some sort of event planning guide, right? You can make it generic, you can make it more specific to a niche. I would recommend making it specific to a niche that you know. So, you know nonprofits, I would definitely look at, what is something that I could put together in the form of a digital product around event planning for those in nonprofits, and think of specific challenges that they face and how your digital product would solve that specific problem. I have a good friend who um, every year they do a big gala for their nonprofit. She's the chair of the nonprofit. And then they also do a big fashion show, right? And so the thing with a nonprofit is you are taxed with getting a planning committee together of basically volunteers. These are not people who are paid, and that can present a completely different set of challenges. So you could create something, a guide around um, holding members of committees accountable, for example, or how to keep them inspired and motivated. How do you reward them? Those are all different things that you can incorporate into some sort of um, digital product guide, right? The other thing you could do is speak to people in that arena and start asking them what are some things that, what are their biggest challenges, right? What are their biggest challenges, and how would they solve them? What would they do, right? When I worked in corporate and I would go work with a new team, I didn't go in and just say we need to change this and this. I would actually talk to the employees and really get to know them and give them the opportunity to have input and hear from them. What do they think the team is doing well, and what is one thing that they would change, and how would they change it? One, it positions them as the authority, and I'm just there to support them. And you would be amazed at the type of team you can create when you go in with that piece of paper and you're jotting notes. I'm not here to throw anybody under the bus. I'm not here to fire anybody. I see you guys and I see how hard you work. I think you're here for the right reasons. So how can I help you be better at what you do? Right. And so you can take that same approach, and you already have contacts, and you can begin to ask those questions and then come up with a product. And the great thing about going that route is you have people who are vested because they were a part of the process, right? Like, a lot of people don't realize that is honestly why the Kardashians, everybody talks about the X tape, right? But Kim did something really, really brilliant when she got on Twitter. Back then, it was Twitter. She would ask people, "Hey, I'm working on this. What do you guys think about this or this?" Right? And so people became very vested in what she was creating because they were a part of the journey of her creating it, and they were able to give feedback. Okay, I really like that approach because I don't want it to sound like sales. Right. It should never sound like sales. It should sound like service. It should sound like transformation. It should sound like problem solving, right? When DBA first launched, DBA was positioned as, it's for those people who can't afford a 500, 600, $900 course, right? It was created to service a segment of the market that was being ignored, that was completely underserved. I think a lot of it is the language. You're absolutely right. It's always language. That's a huge chunk of what I do, is figuring out the right words. I have to tell my family all the time, like, I don't just sit and play on Facebook all day. Like, I use my thinking cap a lot. I know some of y'all think too much, but I use my thinking cap quite a bit because it's about figuring out the right words to say it, right? But man, once I figure them out, I use them over and over and over again, right? Sometimes it's just a little difference of a word that will make somebody actually take action. And that's why I like to actually talk to people, because you can write down their exact phrases and you can use them in your marketing, and it will help you convert more when you are using their own words and their own language. I always tell people it should feel like, I'll never forget sitting in church one time and pastor was talking about something, I can't remember what. And I looked at my grandma like she had been telling all my business. But then I remembered I hadn't even told her. And I know I hadn't told him. And that's how it's supposed to feel when your perfect ideal client is coming across your content and reading it. They should feel seen, they should feel heard, they should feel acknowledged. Okay? Yeah, I've seen his ads. I don't know much about him. You had so much fun. I want things to be like flow. Yeah, it should all be in alignment. It should all be effortless. It should all be flowing very smoothly, very easily. Now, are there going to be challenges that pop up from time to time? Yes. I remember that when I first switched from using Get Response to I no longer use it, but to using Entreport, the first couple of days I wanted to cry and quit, but I didn't. I toughed it out. And then I wound up getting a customer, my highest in person full pay client who hired me for multiple projects because I toughed it out and learned that new platform. And I think I told the story a little incorrectly before. We actually wound up not even using Entreport for her project, but because of what she saw, what I'd done with Entreport, right? So even within my digital marketing skill set, like I said, I came out of college, digital marketing, we were using the internet, but it was definitely web 1.0. Okay. And then when I left corporate and began my digital marketing journey, I had to learn things that had not been taught, that I had not experienced in my work career. So I took certifications. I joined classes. I took webinars, right? I invested heavily into my digital marketing skill set, right? See, a lot of people think just because, unfortunately, in a lot of cases, a college degree is going to, in the short run, cost you more than what you are able to earn. In the long run, it really should work out, right? I will also tell you when we talk about the wealth gap and the wealth disparity, uh, when two college educated people get together and create a family, they change the direct trajectory of their family. That's statistical. You can look that up. Okay. I appreciate you for getting on here because I get the jitters going on live. Yeah. So that's what you do. You find a buddy. You find a buddy and you go live with a buddy, right? One of my best friends, she was real jittery about going live. And in 2014, we would go live on YouTube every week as a webinar. And then she was no longer, she can go, she hasn't gone live in quite some time, but she can go live like nobody's business because it was like three of us. And we all took a segment and we would, and we weren't even showing our faces and go live, but that's what helped her. So find a buddy and go live with a buddy. Is that the wind? And go live with a buddy. Okay. So do the buddy system and go live with someone else. Yes, that's a great book. I have that book too when I'm on her mailing list. I promised myself I was going to read 50 pages a day and do a book review. 50 is usually a hefty commitment. A lot of people stick to like 10 to 15 pages. You're very welcome, Tanya. You're very welcome. Yeah, read 10 to 15 pages a day. If you can do 50, if you one day you have more time and can do 50, do that. But don't overcommit is all I'm saying. Okay? Don't overcommit. Say or you can say your minimum is 10. You can say your minimum is 10, right? But I always get a little when people say things like 50 pages in a day. Um that's a lot. That's a lot. I also can give you the shortcut. If you really want the shortcut, I can give you the shortcut. I can give you the shortcut. Because one thing I will tell you about executives and very wealthy people is they do read a lot, but they don't read every page of the book. They don't read every page of the book, right? When I worked in banking, I was highly infatuated with Jamie Dimon, and I read his book, and he talked about he gets up early, and for the first 2 hours of the day, he's doing nothing but reading. But he's reading the financial newspapers, he's reading reports, he's reading books, right? And so if you want the secret, I will give you the secret. Okay? I will give you the secret. And it's very on topic because we're talking about AI and the wealth gap, right? And if your personal development is your number one income producing skill, right? Personal development is your number one income producing skill. As Jim Rohn said, income will seldom exceed personal development. Your income will only grow as far as you are willing to grow. And that's in corporate, over 20 years of corporate experience. That's in corporate. That is also in your business, right? Your income will never pass where you have grown developmentally. Okay. You've got what got you there, won't get you to the next level. You're going to have to, consistently be working on your mindset, be consistently up leveling your skills and staying relevant, right? And so, with that being said, personal development is something you should be doing every day. So, I like that you are committed to reading every day. The general rule of thumb, if you're physically reading a book, which you should spend 10 minutes a day reading a book, right? And for me, that doesn't include my devotional. I do a devotional every day. And if you follow me for some time, you know that I do because it's often in my stories. Okay. And so I like some 30-day type of that 365-day type of journey, right? Whether it's on stoicism, whether it's a prayer journal, whether it's a devotional. Okay. So that's not included in my 10 minutes or 10 pages of 10 pages or 30 minutes of reading or something for personal development each day. Okay. So I like that idea. I'm gonna just be honest with you. 50 is really challenging. A lot of people are going to be hard pressed to do 50 pages in a day. If you can, kudos to you. Great. But I like the idea of 10 pages a day being the minimum. Okay. A lot of your execs, your very wealthy people, they know how to collapse time. And I actually created a short form video on the Clock app about this. They collapse time when it comes to their personal development. Let me know in the comments if you've ever seen The Devil Wears Prada with Glenn Close. I think it was it Glenn Close or Meryl Streep? Meryl Streep and the princess. What was the girl from the princess movie? I can't think of her name. Right? And there was some big event coming up, and the intern had to put together this binder of all the attendees, and it had their image in there and information about them that she would whisper into Meryl Streep's ear. And Meryl Streep was basically Anna Wintour from, I think, Vogue magazine or whatever. That's the type of intelligence you need. And you have it. And you probably don't know it. Chat GPT, right? You can go to Chat GPT. I would start with books I've read first, because I reread a lot of books, especially really good ones. You can go to Chat GPT and you can ask it. Don't just ask it to summarize the book. I don't like that. Especially because of the type of books that I typically read are on personal finance, on sales, on marketing, on business, self-improvement. I will ask Chat GPT I would give it the full title of the book and the author of the book and say, I'd like a summary, but I want the summary to include an outline, a detailed outline, along with key points, main takeaways, and actionables. You're going to get a very different result when you ask it to do that versus just asking it to summarize the book. That's not, if it summarizes it, that's not even giving you the Cliff Notes version. It's very much like, a book description, a little more in depth than to sell the book, but that's not what's going to give you what you want, right? I also will include in my prompt frameworks if it includes any frameworks, right? And then fire, you're welcome. And then you can even take it a step further by asking Chat GPT and say something along the lines like, based upon what you know about me, what I do, who I serve, and how I serve them, my perfect ideal client, how can I take this information and apply it to my business to serve more, faster, better, and make more money? Okay. So you can do that with a book a day. You might not want to take the extra step with it a day, but you can ask it to summarize, give you key frameworks and that, and you can ask it about applying it. Doesn't mean you have to act on it, but you can ask it, right? And you can begin to compile and study these books and have the best frameworks available to you in your business. And that's how you can collapse time and improve your personal development. So you can literally take one book a week or a month, and you could again ask it for the outline, the key points, main points, frameworks, summarization, and actionables. And then you can ask it to give you a detailed plan to execute on what's in that book over the next 7 to 10 days, over the next 30 days. And then you have to hold yourself accountable to do it. And the great thing, I can't believe I'm telling y'all all this. And the great thing is when you have the paid version, once it gives you the plan, what I found works best for me is I go back to that very specific chat, which I've copied and pasted with the link to a Google Doc so that I can always go back to it and whatever. I've got a backup of it. I'm always creating backups so I can get back to that exact chat. And then I will say, okay, this is you have the plan above. Today is Thursday, October 31st. What should I be doing? And it will tell you. And then you do it. Like they say that most people are not using Chat GPT anywhere near the full capability and potential of Chat GPT. And that is true. And that includes me, but I'm still using it, I think, a little bit more and smarter than other people. There are people who are teaching Chat GPT, and I'm actually going to be working on some things like this. I already actually am. Um, where like I know Dottie has her GPT that helps you write certain kinds of posts. I know April Beverly has come out with her own AI product. Misha Bazemore of the Coco Twins has multiple GPTs that help you, and they have free versions and paid versions, right? Again, how do you close the AI wealth gap? Create GPTs. Help people solve problems using AI, right? I don't even know how we got there. I forgot. Sometimes I make myself dizzy. But yeah, you can go back to that specific chat and say, "Okay, today is Thursday, October 31st. What should I be doing?" Right? You can I might edit this out. You can let me know. Y'all got to throw up some love. We had 327 or 527. We get to 2,000 hearts on the clock app. I'm going to tell you something. I'm going to tell you something. You got to get to 2,000 hearts on the clock app. I'm going to tell you something that you can do with Chat GPT. Like, I wouldn't even mess with the free version. I would definitely do the paid version of Chat GPT because you can literally take that $20. I'm not supposed to say numbers, but you can take that $20 and let's just say you 10x it. That's $200. You could do more than that, right? Let's throw up those hearts. Let's get those hearts because yeah, you can Chat GPT. It's not, when it comes to marketing, it's not a Tamara Hamilton. It's not a Russell Brunson, right? It's not. Okay. It's not. What's the other guy's name that I like? I could see his face. I don't know why I can't think of his name. Right? It's not human. It's not human. But this is why people pay me big money to coach and mentor under me, because they get access to my brain. Right? They get access to my brain. My brain doesn't work like most people's. I'm not saying that's good or bad. Sometimes it's not good. Let me tell you. if I'm being honest, it's not always a good thing to have this big old brain of mine. For the most part, though, it does work for me. Okay. That's ultimately what people pay me for, is they pay me for my brain power. My gift to the world is strategy. I think multiple steps ahead. Chess, not checkers. Right? So let's get those hearts. Let's bang out those hearts so I could, because I want to give you this money tip. I want to give you this money tip for ChatGPT. I want to give it to you so bad. I want to give it to you. I want to give it to you. Like, like seriously. Now, and what I'm going to tell you is not going to work for everybody. You might can do it, but you still might need to reach out and book a strategy session like with someone like me to actually execute on it. But you can go to ChatGPT. First of all, I'm going to tell you this. I can't believe I'm telling y'all this. I'm probably going to delete this. You should be uploading every last single sales page you have to ChatGPT. Every last sales page that you have, every product description needs to be uploaded to ChatGPT. Number one, for the potential to analyze and improvement, but I ain't even talking about that today. You need to upload it to ChatGPT so that ChatGPT can become your genie in a bottle. What do I mean by that? So ChatGPT knows your products and offering inside and out. And this works with the paid version because it can memorize and learn you. Right? Not like learn you like, people who were educated, from the early 1900s using learn instead of teach. No, not learn you like that way, so that it can learn you, your business, how you speak, how you write, and all of those things, right? So you need to upload your freebies. You need to upload your product descriptions. You need to upload your sales pages to ChatGPT. Okay. And you need to do that in order for this to work. So what you can do is you can go to ChatGPT and you can say, based on my product offering, I want to make $1,000 today. What should I do? That's it. If it knows your products, it knows the product description, it knows the sales page, it should be able to help you make a little money that day. Now, just putting it in ChatGPT is not going to make it happen. I mean, it from a manifestation standpoint, it actually kind of can, but you probably still gonna have to do some work. You still need to have the systems and things in place. You might need an actual human brain strategist like myself. Now, and the reason, I'm gonna be honest with you, it might not work for everybody. It might work for me because I got the 32 years of sales, marketing, and leadership experience. So I know the follow-up questions. I know the follow-up things to put in there. I know how to make it correct course when it's off course. And you may not have that. And that is why having someone like myself in your back pocket, booking a strategy session is not a bad idea. But you can manifest some stuff with Chat GPT, with Claude, with Perplexity. If you're not using AI to manifest, what are you even doing? If you are only using it to manifest, you can change your life, right? Because I am a very visual person, but sometimes there are blocks and I can't see things. And so I will use Chat GPT to help me get unstuck and help me see things. Because when you pay for Chat GPT, you get access to the AI generator. The Facebook AI generator is incredible, right? I have a post on Facebook that I've been adding to and teaching, not teaching, that I've been adding to that lists my favorite AI generative tools. And I update it every so many months. And one of my favorite that I recently added in the last couple months is ideogram.ai. And like I say, Pinterest and Amazon go together real bad. Pinterest and ideogram go together real bad. It will literally create the pin, have the words on there and everything. Now, if you were in Pin Profits Mastery, you knew that months ago, because that's where I go to first before I start opening my mouth publicly. Okay. And sometimes I start in Chat GPT to help me get the prompt and take it over to Ideogram. Now, the one thing I will tell you about Ideogram is it's not good for chocolate skin. If it's not good for deep, maybe I should try that term. But his, from what I've seen, when I say dark skin, the darkest it will give me usually is like a little darker than J Lo, but maybe like Rihanna is the darkest it will go. So for your deep, dark skin tones, it's not necessarily the best. But I would also urge you to look up those GPTs from the Coco twins on Chat GPT. Oh, no worries. You're all good. You're good, girl. You're good, Carolyn. You're good. So yeah. So yeah, you can collapse time with Chat GPT because I'm a voracious reader. But it has changed the way that I consume and that I read content. Right? There's so much more that I could say, but I'm not going to. I love ChatGPT right now. I'm working out a schedule. The day that ChatGPT can summarize podcast episodes for me, my brain is really gonna explode with information because you can collapse time with ChatGPT and read a whole lot, and not just read but comprehend. Because my mother always taught me that it's one thing to be able to read, it's another to be able to comprehend and actually understand what it is that you're reading. I think I might play with some reels pretty soon. Yeah, I've had ChatGPT map me out 30 days of reels. Right? Their ChatGPT also works with NVIDIA, which is an AI generator, and some of my best performing short form video, especially on Instagram and Pinterest, were created using that software. Especially if you want to go faceless, right? If you want to go faceless. And understand, like, when I tell y'all stuff like this, it works. But when you actually, like, I'm not giving you everything that I know, because number one, y'all just couldn't even handle it if I did that right now. That's why I have to have that barrier, and people have to pay me for some of that stuff, because you got to really be ready to receive it. Like you really got to be ready to receive it. You got to be ready to implement on it and execute. Because like what I just told you about the NVIDIA and Chat GPT, I'll tell you what to do for free, but I'll tell you how to do it for money. I'll do it with you for even more money. Because me telling you what to do is not telling you how I do it. That's what you're paying me for. You paying me for what's in here, how I would do it, the things that I have thought through, that just telling you what to do doesn't cover it. Sounds like a game changer. I got you. Yeah. Because if I try to break it down, first of all, a lot of people be wanting to get close to me until they get close to me. And then I start hearing, oh, that's so much work. That's a lot. It is a lot, but you expect a lot. So why wouldn't you think you got to put a lot toward it? It is a lot. And I'm not even talking about money and paying me. I'm talking about what I actually do, the steps. It is a lot. It's a lot. You know what else was a lot? Them 4 years to get that bachelor's degree. You know what else was a lot? Them 32 years that I've put in, going on 33. Whatever you want, it is going to be a lot. But that's why you got to make sure it's something that you enjoy and that you have the vision and you know why, and you have your you know, you have your why, because it is a lot. And there are going to be days that you want to give up and that you want to quit. I remember the first time I heard somebody say that, I was like, man, I ain't trying to hear that. I ain't trying to hear that. Girl, speak on it. The experience alone. There are going to be days that you want to quit, that you want to give up. There are going to be days that you don't feel like doing it. What is your why? Why am I doing this? Number one, I'm doing it because I absolutely love marketing. I eat, breathe, and sleep marketing and have for 32 years. I have in recent years finally come to the conclusion that, well, long ago I came to the conclusion that corporate America was not for me. But I've finally come to the conclusion as to why it is not for me, and that I don't care what anybody else wants for me. I want for me what is for me and for me alone, right? And for me alone, being told what to do, how to do it, and not having the creative freedom is a deal breaker for me. I do it because I have 2 grandchildren that I love to be with when I want to be with them, and I don't want anybody telling me when I can and cannot be with them. In my larger, it's part of something very larger that I have visioned and am creating for my life, is something that creates generational wealth. I applaud you for standing on business. Thank you. There they go. We got to keep the legacy going. Yes. Yes. So your why might start out as one thing, but it quickly evolves. Like back in 2015, for me, it really boiled down to I wanted to be with my grandson during the day. I wanted to be a stay-at-home grandma. And then I did it, and I did it really quickly. But then I struggled because I didn't know what my next why was. I was like, I had accomplished it. Everything I had set out to accomplish, I had accomplished it. And then I hadn't thought about what's next. So that's, again, personal development. You have to constantly be thinking about what's next, right? What's next? Because sometimes, like I said, you can want something so bad that you lose sight of everything else. And for me, it was, I wanted to be a stay-at-home grandma. I wanted to be with my grandson during the day. And then I had to move beyond that. For me, I want time freedom. I was injured years ago. I had a back injury and I took some time off. Yeah, that time freedom. A lot of people are going to end up with time freedom, though, because AI is going to take their job. A lot of people going to end up with time freedom, right? Time freedom, financial freedom. Yes, I'm for all of that. Yeah, we all are, but a lot of people, and this is not directed at you at all. This is from years of experience and dealing with a lot of different people. A lot of people say they want it until it's time to actually do the work, right? Because sometimes y'all be sleeping with y'all ops. Sometimes y'all be sleeping with y'all ops. If you've been hearing that hater that was in the comments, that's somebody's husband. And he's probably mad at her. You dig? You're mad at her because she either making her own money and he can't control her or something like that. Girl, say no more, okay? That's why I mentioned before I was thinking about creating a lifestyle brand. Yeah, and really dig into what you mean when you say lifestyle brand, because lifestyle marketing has gotten a really bad rap because a lot of people have been doing it wrong, right? So when I think of lifestyle brand, I think of like old girl from Real Housewives of New Jersey. Margaret Joseph has a lifestyle brand. Martha Stewart is a lifestyle brand. Oprah is actually a lifestyle brand. It's not that they're selling you their lifestyle, but their lifestyle brands in terms of, like, Martha is everything from her on her farm and gardening and, you know, the stuff that they plant and grow and make, turning it into food and making it into food. And she's also a businesswoman, right? And unfortunately in the recent 10 years, lifestyle has become driving a Lambo and Birkins. And that's why the FTC has come out with new rules. Girl, yes, people like to retaliate for no good reason. We'll see. I have an autoimmune disorder, but I don't want to be like a charity case. If you know, yeah, everyone should listen. I have a fully disabled brother who's never taken a step and walked a day in his life. And he's retired now, but he graduated high school. He did a 2-year program, and he also worked as a greeter at Walmart for like 20 years. Right. So everyone, that's the way I was raised. Everyone should feel, I don't even know how I want to say this. So everyone should be able to have that feeling of doing something and fulfilling something and creating something to take care of themselves. Okay. Everyone should do that. I know what you mean. Everyone should feel empowered. Yes. Yes. There's something to be said about working and creating something and it paying you. There's something to be said about that. But once you come out that way, then there's a stigma. Okay. Oh my God. I've been here almost 2 hours. I need to go. Time flies when you're having fun, right? So we talked about AI. We talked about how jobs have evolved over the last 80 years or so. How in 2018, like 85% of those jobs did not exist in 1940. How, you know, there were two distinct periods: the first 40 years where it was driven by manufacturing, and in the last 40 years, and I'm 50, so this includes my lifetime, you know, it's become more high end and specialized versus lower pay, lower skilled, clerical, retail, fast food, and things like that. So that's why if I were to do a lifestyle brand, it would be about self development. Yes. Oh, I'm your big sis now. I love that. You turned 43 October. Happy belated birthday. I'll be 51 the end of January. I got 2 kids, 32 going on 33, 27, and my glam babies are 10 and 4. 10 and 4. And you know, when you ask why, I love that they've not seen me work outside the home because their mom and their auntie grew up with me working 50, 60 hours a week as a single mom, right? And so and so they grew up with a much different version of me. My cousin said that I was like, oh, she's really calmed down. No, I'm the same person I've always been. What you are experiencing is I don't have the weight of the world on my shoulders anymore. That's what you're experiencing. You're experiencing a more healed version of myself, the one who's done the shadow work, who's done the journaling, the meditating, the fixing her diet, the internal work, the personal development. I'll never say that's not a part of it. But I've always been that way because I was raised to be that way. My grandparents were big on personal development, but you're also experiencing, I don't have the weight of the world on my shoulders anymore. Because for 40 years, I had the weight of the world on my shoulders. as the oldest daughter, the oldest grandchild, and the firstborn niece in my mother's family. And by the way, as I mentioned, there was a fully disabled child in a single parent household. So not only was I parentified, I was parenting a fully disabled younger brother. So I've always carried the weight of the world on my shoulders, and I no longer carry the weight of the world on my shoulders. And it feels good. It feels good. I live in peace with myself, in harmony with the universe, in harmony with my community, and everyone else around me. Okay. Now, don't get it twisted. I'm still from the south side of the kingdom and will bless you out accordingly if I need to, as we may have witnessed on this video today. Okay. But I'm not going to let anybody take me out of character. I will remove myself. I have more boundaries in place. And as I was telling my cousin last week, and I'm going to end up closing with this, we talked about, you know, how did I say it? I said, I've come to the conclusion in life that I will always play my role. I will do my part, but I will never overplay my role. I will do my part, but I will not overplay my role, right? In corporate America, it sounded like what I was taught is the 50-50 mutual commitment. I own 100% of my development. This is what I said to every brand new employee. I own 100% of your development. That is my responsibility. I need you to own 100% of your 50% of your development. Okay. So I own 100% of what I'm supposed to do to help you to succeed, but I can't make you succeed. You've got to want to do it, and you've got to show up. You've got to step up and do what you need to do to be successful. Because I can give it all to you, but if you do nothing with it, it doesn't work. And that's what stands true to this day. And from a personal standpoint, I will help just about anybody. I will give the shirt off my back to just about anybody. But I'm never going to overplay my role. Because that's how most people end up hurt and ready to hurt somebody else, because they overplayed their role or they overstayed their welcome. That's the other thing. Don't overplay your role and don't overstay your welcome. And that comes from both of those relate to my corporate career, believe it or not. Don't overstay your welcome and don't overplay your role. These companies and these bosses and these jobs, oh, we're looking for somebody that, that has an entrepreneurial spirit. The only place I'm exhibiting an entrepreneurial experience mindset is in my own business, because they will be quick to remind you that it's not your business and that you better fall in line and do what they want you to do the way that they say to do it. They want you to have an entrepreneurial experience, meaning they want to be able to use and abuse you. They want to be able to overwork you, which is overplaying your role. Right? And a lot of cases and this is pre-layoff season, this is layoff appetizer season, we're already seeing it. And so those who get to stay get more work. That's overplaying your role. And sometimes they give you a fraction of what the person that they cut out. They give you a fraction of the pay, but give you a larger in proportion piece of the work on top of what you already have to do. So those are things to keep in mind. Okay. So I'm going to leave you with that. Know your role, do your part, don't overstay your welcome, and don't overplay your role or your hand. All right. I will see y'all on the next live. Bye. Thanks for